Hi, I'm Shannon Cyr, and today we're talking about staying for the kids. I'm glad you're here. So, pretty much every day I speak to people who are really struggling in their marriages, and one of the most common things I hear is the word stuck, or they say something like, I feel stuck. And so, there are several reasons that we feel stuck, but one of the most common themes is the children. I'll hear things like, I'm staying for the kids, or I don't want my kids to grow up in a divorced family. And sometimes I hear, I don't want to screw up my kids forever, or I don't want my kids to hate me. So, one of my clients who I'm going to refer to is Joe. He's been married for about 15 years and has two young children. And there was a lot of love in his marriage at one time. And at one point, he felt like things were really good between them. Now he can't really remember what that was like or when it was. He's kind of sunk into a place where he stays at work longer than he needs to. He doesn't speak up like he would like to about things. And generally, he says he just feels really alone. He feels like his wife is just no longer interested in him. He just doesn't have any value. More than likely, he said she probably just doesn't really care if he stays or if he goes. They can't talk about anything without it ending up in an argument. They sleep in separate rooms. There's been no sexual intimacy in years. They do things as a family, but there's really no connection other than just things that revolve around the kids. Now, most of the time, what we view as normal in a relationship or right is what we have experienced ourselves or saw at home. So if you see a coach or a therapist or a counselor, one of the things that they're going to ask you is what your parents' relationship was like. And they ask this because most of what we pick up in this life is based upon what we've seen and experienced as we were growing up. So it turns out that Joe's parents were very disconnected from one another. They lived in separate lives, basically under the same roof, and didn't really seem to like each other a whole lot. They argued quite a bit, and eventually it got to the place where they really didn't speak a whole lot. So it's not surprising that Joe has really kind of found himself in a similar relationship. Right now, he thinks that he might be able to make it another 10 years. He thinks that he can put on a great front in front of the kids and that, he and his wife try to act normal when they're doing family things. He thinks they don't really argue all that much in front of the kids, and he tries to make sure that they don't see it. Sometimes they do. The kids know that they sleep in separate rooms, but he said that they think it's because daddy snores too much and keeps mommy awake. So the kids also don't ever see any physical affection, and they rarely see much interaction between them at all unless it revolves around the kids. So he's told himself that he's going to stay in this marriage until the kids go to college and leave home because that's the right thing to do. That time, though, it's a good 8 to 10 years away. And I understand how he got here and why he thinks that this is the right thing to do. I don't have a judgment of what's right or wrong or good or bad because it isn't my place to determine that for anyone. Joe has to find his answer for his own life and find peace with whatever decision he makes. The thing is that the kids really are a lot more wise than we tend to give them credit for. They notice what goes on in the household. They see and feel your sadness and pain and anxiety and distress just as much as they feel your genuine joy, happiness, ease, and excitement. So that being the case, ask yourself these questions. What are the children learning about love and marriage based upon what they are seeing and experiencing at home? Would you want your son or your daughter to be in a relationship like you're in the one now? Do you want to stay stuck and not find out if your marriage can be saved and feel good again? Do you want to continue to do nothing and wait? Or do you want to find out if you can lovingly release your marriage in the best way possible? Do you want to unintentionally teach your children the very thing that you don't want them to see? These are all really good questions to answer because if you don't take a step one way or the other, you learn nothing. Children are going to mirror your energy and the energy of the relationship. So when you're happy, they're going to be more happy. When mom and dad are thriving and enjoying life, the kids are going to be thriving and enjoying life too. But when you're anxious and upset or fighting and angry in front of them, they're going to pick that up. A strong argument could be made that children having two homes with parents that are happy and emotionally healthy are better than one home with two parents that are not the best versions of themselves that they can be, that don't speak to one another, or the emotional environment is toxic. I know there are a lot of voices around you right now probably telling you what is right and what is wrong, what's good for the kids and what isn't. So if you make the incredibly difficult decision to leave your marriage, don't be so hard on yourself. That decision also gives you an opportunity to show your kids that it's never too late to create a happy life for yourself, that it's really important and that it's your responsibility to do that for you. By choosing to leave your marriage, you may be giving them the best lesson they could see about love and relationships by simply respecting yourself, respecting your spouse, and respecting your heart. If you'd like to find out if you can create a marriage that feels better, or if you need to lovingly release yours in the best manner possible, I invite you to schedule a complimentary exploratory session with me. Decide once and for all if you're going to stay in your marriage and move forward, or if you're going to move on and stop feeling stuck. All my best.